What is good, everybody? This is Charles from Team COG coming at you guys here with my Crusadia deck profile you guys been waiting for. I know it's been like 6 days since I last uploaded, showing you guys like the test and video for this deck. Things got busy. We went to a Skillet concert, which I'll have a picture up here to show you guys. It was just a busy weekend and a busy week, and I've just been trying to work on a series for the channel that I can stick to under my current circumstances with work and not having a lot of time to go to my own current locals because I live an hour and a half away. Not being able to make it there consistently has been kind of kicking me in the butt in the YuGiOh competitive scene and stuff like that. So I finally think I got a series that I will be bringing to you guys here that will be awesome and allows me to use my own locals and stuff like that. It'll be pretty cool. But anyway, guys, please remember, if you guys want to help support the channel, you guys can do so by checking the links down in the description below. If you guys enjoy the mat, the hat, check out Imperium Duelist and use our code down there, Team COG 10 for 10% off. Everything that goes into the channel gets put back into it. If you guys are buying any of these cards off TCG Player, use that TCG Player affiliate link down there below as well. And without further ado, we'll just go ahead and jump into the deck profile. So this list right here it's in my opinion, it's more consistent than like the previous Go First list that's existed. The simple fact is that going second in today's world is just almost impossible. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like it's really hard to beat those going first strategies. Like, they just put up so much interruption. Like Sword Soul, just literally they black out your normal summon, you lose. Branded, they just banish your normal summon, you lose. And like the list goes on, right? Even if you go into like more of the rogue categories of like playing against like Tri Brigade, they revolt on your normal summon, they banish your normal summon, you lose. So instead of like trying just to play around that and lose and play around that, I just decided to go first with this. And when we got Ghosts from the Past 2, we got BorrelEND Dragon, and BorrelEND Dragon is a more consistent boss monster, like an end board boss monster that we can get to more consistently than we could when we were playing the Waterfront variant, in my personal opinion. But I'm not really going to go over too much because everything's kind of the same. As you guys know, this was a Crusadia channel. We were founded on the Crusadia's backbone. The channel got its this deck propelled the channel, so I'm always going to keep this deck always strapped on me, just waiting for something. Hopefully Konami will finally decide to give us some support or something, which the deck desperately needs. But anyway, just to kind of breeze through here, we're on to 3 Maximus, my favorite. I do not, there's no point in 3 Draco, 3 Arborea. These 9 are very important. More so Draco and Arborea, because these guys are like your 2 combo line pieces, essentially. They're what allow you to go down different combo lines. But 3 Reclusia, and then 3 Leonis. I don't recommend, I've seen people try and play the Format Skipper, Parallel Exceed. I was a huge fan of Format Skipper. I'm going to tell you guys immediately, I thought that card was insane in the deck. It gave the deck like something that did something on normal summon, right? Until for the first tournament I was into, my Format Skipper got ogred, my Format Skipper got gammed, and I'm never going to have that happen again. I'm not going to happen. Even if they do solve your normal summon, these guys have no effects that activate on the normal summon. So like at least you're able to go into Magius and get your play started, whereas I normal summon Skipper, activate effect, get gammed, I lose. Activate effect, get ogre, I lose. So I didn't want to play ogre, or I didn't want to play Skipper in for that particular reason. I'm not going to lose again because my normal summon gets destroyed on a normal summon reliant deck. One honorary mention here is Crown. Crown actually probably could be tested and played as Destrudo. However, I'm just, I'm a purist at heart, so I try to play my decks as pure and as thematic as I possibly can. The card is really good for the inboard and stuff like that. Sometimes, like I said, if you guys have not seen the test hand video, go ahead and go check it out. For sure, you end on Appalosa for 2, BorrelEND, and a Savage, and sometimes if you have this in your hand, you can get this out too, so you end on more than just the standard interruptions and stuff. But that is it for the Crusadias. Like I said, they're all just, you got to play the maxed amount, and somehow, guys, I don't understand how you were probably not going. There's going to be some hands where you don't even see a single one of these cards, and it makes absolutely no sense. But it is what it is. And then moving on to powerful extenders, we are on to Triple Exceed. This card right here will still always play because we have Magius that points down. It just allows us to chain block the Magius and get bodies out there. I currently am no longer on the not the Parallel Exceed. I'm currently no longer on the Rafflesia or the Gravediggers because that gives us bricks that took up an extra deck spot. So this right here is just solely just for gas to get through stuff and to put bodies on the board. We definitely, with the BorrelEND coming out, we kind of lost some of our flex spots to be able to play some cool XYZs and synchros in favor of the Codebreakers that allow us to make the Codebreaker package, which if you resolve the Codebreaker package, you're making BorrelEND, which is pretty cool. For the rocket, so this is where I'd like to just talk about like the pseudo brick. We'll just put them all together here. So these cards are not bad in your hand unless you're like get denied boot. So that's the best way to put it. If you get denied boot, these cards are bad. But most of the times if you open any of these cards, you're getting to boot sector in your combo line. So like these guys become extenders that way. Normally you just pitch rocket off a Ravine that you do through your combo to get access to tracer to your hand, so then you can make a savage play at the end of your stuff. But you never truly want to like open these guys, but it's okay if you do, right? So like that's how I put them. It's no different than Dragon Link. Dragon Link did not want to see multiple dragons in his hand, but if they did, it was okay, right? And Rocket Sync runs just the Hulk target. And some combo lines, like you will actually be able to Hulk out the Crusadia Arborea, and if Hulk ends up getting answered in the next Forbidden Limitless, which I honestly, guys, I'm in the opinion that Hulk is a fine card. I've always thought Hulk was okay. It's just the stuff that's after Hulk that makes Hulk unfair, and it seems to be... I don't know if my opinion will reign supreme for much longer. I feel like the Hulk's time is limited, despite my opinion of it. Regardless, if you do, you just actually can cut the synchron here, and then you just do more. You're more reliant on Spatha, and it makes the combo lines be a little bit different. But we'll get there when we get there, especially if Hulk ends up biting the dust. But this is the rocket package. Very kind of try to have it slimmed down. You could get away with playing one tracer, but you play quick launch too, so I didn't want to like risk, like if you go through like the Hulk line, you're probably going to have like a dead quick launch, and I just wanted to make sure my quick launches are always live. And anyway, onto like the Dragon Link, more Dragon Link stuff. The Black Dragon and the White Dragon. Actually, to be honest with you, we were playing this stuff before Dragon Link was. Crusadia Guard Dragon was far around before Dragon Link was. These cards just work so well. Like, if you guys don't know what these cards do, they're free special summons. They summon out, they search each other. If you have Chaos Space, you get a free draw to put them back. Most importantly, once you like get this list or get this like general concept down, you're able to like get free real estate, because like you have to pitch for the Dragon Ravine, but if you just like do the combo lines correctly, if you open Collapse Serpent or Wyvern Buster, you're just able to pretty much get free real estate by putting this back to the bottom of the deck, linking this off, adding this, then going Ravine and pitching the dragon that you just added back that you've already summoned for free real estate, so you don't lose any hand advantage or anything. And then we have the 0 Day. So this card is actually part of the key combo piece. This card isn't even really a hard brick. Literally, like, none of the monsters in the deck are really a hard brick. Even if you open Absoluta, right, you just, through your combo line, you get to Ravine. So, like, I mean, it's not that bad. And then worst case scenario, before you get to Ravine, you're making Hulk. Hulk summons out Synchron. You can then summon Absoluta from your hand, and then there you go, right? So, like, none of the monsters are really hard bricks in the sense. They're all just kind of, like, combo pieces, does that make sense? That just sometimes are weaker extenders in the way. Like the rockets, like they are weak extenders, but they're also very weak starters, so they're more powerful extenders in conjunction with other cards, I guess. But Codebreaker is really good. He is part of the Codebreaker combo. He's what gives us the bodies to be able to make the BorrelEND. But onto the spells, I am playing 3 Quick Launch, 3 Chaos Space, and these things are pretty much these things right here are pretty much just for the Dragon Link package. Maximus is searchable with the Magia, so you can search out a pitchable target for Chaos Space. If you open any of the, like Magna Rocket or an extra Tracer, you can pitch it with Chaos Space. If you open Black or White, you can pitch it with Chaos Space. If you open Codebreaker, you can pitch it with Chaos Space. Add the White Dragon. And it's just a very powerful card in my opinion. I wanted to play very strong and very powerful cards, and Chaos Space alone, just in my opinion, requires a response because of what it does. It just gives too much resource, too many bodies. You just have to answer it. And then 3 Quick Launch. I mean, why? We've always kind of played Quick Launch ever since the days we were making As a Thought. But that's it for those. And then I am playing 3 triple attacks in this deck. You don't have to play 3 triple attacks. You could play anything really. This could be 3 hand traps. This could be anything. I just wanted something responsive because the way that I've always played Crusadia Guard Dragon, even before we took when it was Crusadia Guard Dragon, was full send. That's how I've always played the deck. Mostly because I wanted to the deck just it's really tight. You have to play all these different combos until Konami gives us more in-theme support that allows us to combo more with Crusadia versus all these other engines. That's just the way it's going to be. So I wanted something to be able to we are going to take an Ash. We are going to take a effective that. We are going to take an Ogre every now and then. So having tactics to be responsive to that was something that I wanted, so that we could actually Retaliate, draw more cards in case our combo needs it. In case our hand's very fragile and they ash us, we can draw 2. If our hand's extremely good, we can look at the hand and get rid of other hand traps and other problematic cards like Imperm, Nib, and stuff like that. Because especially with Nib, since Nib's not really respected right now, and with Splight incoming, I actually foresee it probably not being as respected. I actually see Nib falling out of favor. This is just, Tactics is a remarkable card. I highly recommend if you haven't got a pack, you know, your 3 tactics, get your 3 tactics. For the intro card, Boot Sector, Ravine, they're part of the combo sequence. It's kind of crazy because once you get to a certain point in your combo, when you get to like the point where you have these cards in your hand, you have like 7 or 8 cards in your hand. So like, you go incredibly plus through your combo at a certain point. But Boot Sector is amazing. Like I said, this card alone makes the Rockets not be bricks in the deck. It literally makes the Rockets be just weaker extenders. Or if you have Sector, or like once you get access to Sector, they become very powerful extenders in that way. This card is just, I try to keep this card up. I never try to get rid of this card. The ability to special summon from the hand all the Rockets is cool, but if your board does get broken, which if you played against Branded Despia, which is just a really rough matchup against this, and Drytron too. Drytron's a really good matchup against this deck because the arrows and stuff like that with the Anima, I believe it is, they can just literally just make Anima under the Equimax or under the Appalosa and force a negate just like that. This card allows you to like stay in the game in a way, if that makes sense, because like you can special summon Rockets from your graveyard, but normally your extra decks are just kind of depleted at that point. If they break, it's kind of like a break my board or bust sort of deck, but Ravine's part of the combo stuff. I kind of was hesitant to playing this because I don't like discarding because the deck plays from the hand. So by discarding cards from the hand, you're losing that type of stuff. But like I said, normally if you open Chaos Space or get access to the black or white, you have that resource to be able to free pitch and stuff like that. And then sometimes you just have the free resource regardless to pitch, so it's okay. Called by the Grave, not much more can be said. This card's a god card. I am in the opinion of that this card should come back. I know people are, because right now it's a Saki one of, and I do not like Saki one ofs. However, but if Konami's going to have like 13 plus hand traps be in the format, be in the game, you need to have more than just triple attacks to answer them. So that's just my opinion, but maybe I'm just a biased combo player. And then on to the 3 spells, the 3 Holy Trinity, because we don't like hard once per turns. Guard Dragon, Succession, Reborn. Guard Dragon is definitely probably the worst one now, because like there's a lot of times like if you open Guard Dragon and you don't open access to a dragon, and they prevent you from getting access to a dragon, it's a dead card in your hand. However, I'd rather open Guard Dragon in Succession, Guard Dragon Reborn than 2 Guard Dragons. So that's the theory behind this. I've always had this theory when playing this. They're all these 2 are searchable with Crusadia Crawler, the man, the myth himself. Not much more can really be said about these 3. I just play these 3 Reborn spells simply because of statistics and my ability to open 2 of them. It doesn't like, I'm not opening 2 Successions and then I only have a dead Succession in my hand. All of them technically would be live if I open 2 of them. So any conjunction of 2 is always live. And if you open all 3, they're all 3 live. So for the last card, Crusadia Crawler, you could potentially don't have to play this. I'm just a Crusadia player. Like this is not Dragon Link with Crusadia. This is Crusadia with Dragon Link. And people don't respect Equimax. Equimax is a really well-designed card in the conjunction that can negate powerful cards like Ruler and Droplets and stuff like that, depending on what they send with Droplets, of course. But this card gives us a follow-up, which I was finding that the Dragon Link variant just didn't give us. And if you open, like I said, I've showed you guys the combos, I've showed you guys the test hands. If you open 3 cards or like it's mostly a 3-card combo, which is pretty much 2 Crusadias plus Extender, you're able to go through a different line instead of ending on Appalosa for 2. You end up getting an Equimax negate, which I value more than to negate to Appalosa, because you just normal summon and you out the Appalosa, where this right here gives us a negate and a follow-up where we just got the 2 monster negates with the Appalosa. But this card's really, you're always going to see this card. This is literally the hardest brick in the deck. You never want to see this. And by George, it'll be probably the only Crusadia card you see in those hands where you see 0 Crusadias. This will be the one Crusadia card you actually get to see. But I like it. I've always been faithful to this card, and it's always been faithful to me, showing up when I don't want to see it. But it's part of the intro crown. As you guys can see, though, we do have like a huge chunk of monsters here, little spells, and the 1 trap. But that's it. I believe the list is 42 cards, and that's kind of how I like it. I like playing 40 would be perfect, but there's just some cards that are just necessary. You can potentially cut, but I don't want to. Like, you don't have to play Crown, but like I said, Crown is just really good in what it does and everything. So moving on here to the extra deck. So the extra deck is going to be interesting, and I'll discuss a few things while we get there. But I played the whole Crusadia package is 2 Magius, 1 Regulus, 1 Spatha, and 1 Equimax. So this has been like the lineup I've played for years, and I've bounced back and forth testing different things. If you choose not to play Crawler, you can cut Regulix, hands down. But you can't get away with playing one. You play 1 Magius and your entire play gets stopped, your combo's done. Especially in the Crusadia variant, so you have to play 2 Magius just to have the follow-up, or to have the longevity. And yeah, not much more can be said. Spatha comes up, especially in certain lines and stuff like that, like when you have to play differently to get to Hulk, or sometimes you don't get access to Hulk, and you gotta use Spatha to do old school Guard Dragon plays to be able to combo. But if they do end up hitting Hulk, Spatha is what we're gonna be relying on again. But that is it for the Crusadias. We got 1 Striker, 1 Pisty, and 1 Link Spider here. These guys are part of the combo. I'm playing Link Spider simply so that when I do get nibbed, I can just plow through it. And that's literally the thought process now, since we don't have space for technically this could be Rafflesia, and we could play 1 more brick in the deck, but I don't want to play a brick, and Rafflesia is good, but I just chose Link Spider. This is my answer to nib. They nib us, we take the token, we make Link Spider, and probably our hand, we play we play a lot of gas. So when they get to the point to nib us, we still should have a lot of gas in our hand, whether it be cards like Quick Launch, cards like triple tax to draw to, the Reborn's cards, or even if it's just a handful of extenders, really. We can still play through being nibbed. So that's what I want to do. I wanted to have the Link Spider to be able to link up, and then you can special summon down your Crusadias and still continue to extend that way. But that's it for the Link ones right here. Boot. This card is Striker is really important. You want to get access to Boot, especially when you open a handful of nothing hurts worse than open a handful of rockets and combo but rockets in the hand, and you get denied Boot because you're Striker. So sometimes you got to prioritize Striker over your Magius. So just do keep that in mind. Dragooning Knight Romulus, and then Hulk, part of the combo sequence. Again, we might lose this one day. If we do, we'll adapt and overcome. Romulus is just, like I said, part of the combo. Gets us Ravine. And most notably, this is I have a bad habit of putting Romulus here because I'm used to doing Spatha lines where Spatha's here. So most notably, this is the end board you end on, and then you link these up into Appalosa right here. But if you guys haven't seen that, check out the combo video. Check out the test hand video, so you guys can get a gist of what the combo lines look like for this deck. But for the last link 2 is Codebreaker Virus Swordsman. This card is really cool. It summons 0 day from hand, deck, or graveyard. Virus Berserker here. This card, you take the 2, and this card Monster Reborn's back. The Berserker and the 0 day, and then if you guys know what link BorrelEND is, it's a link 5, so 3, 4, 5, bam. There is your BorrelEND Dragon. And this card actually does have a pretty cool effect. You can destroy spell and traps up to the number of Codebreakers, so you're always going to be able to destroy 3 spell or traps. So just if you have a red reboot and you end up going through your typical combo line, you can destroy the 3 traps they set and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. It is a niche effect. I've never had to use the spell or trap destruction, but it does come up, especially if you're going second and you need to out resource your opponent, getting rid of those spells and traps they have set. Especially if they're nothing, even if they just set consistency spell or traps, you get rid of them, which allows you to keep up in resource. 1 Appalosa. This is what you end on to this bare bone standard combo. Just trying to get to Appalosa plus BorrelEND and Savage. I like Appalosa. Appalosa is good in certain matchups. I would never make Equimax against Drytron. I'd try to make it the biggest Appalosa I can against Drytron versus Equimax. But almost all the time I'm trying to make Equimax. The Appalosa is only good if it has 3 or more counters on it, in my opinion. If it just has 2 counters, it's practically it's going to be 1 negate, that's it, because then they'll just attack over it. But anyway, it's an alright card. The Konami, I like this. I really like this card. I hate it because it's so generic, because then every deck that can just spam monsters can always make Appalosa. So it takes out some of the uniqueness of decks. But having a generic boss monster like this that gives those decks that just can kind of spam monsters some sort of inboard boss monster is really nice. So Appalosa is for sure. And it gives you the arrows to Codebreaker combo under. That's something else I should say. Is it gives you the arrows, because Codebreakers have to have Virus Swordsman has to summon out Berserker to a zone a link monster points to. It's co-linked to, and same with Berserker. Berserker has to summon it to 2 link zones that it points to, and that's what Appalosa gives you. Finally, BorrelEND Dragon. This card is a house. Oh my goodness, if you guys have read this card is literally just a house. It's a walking in perm that can't be responded to. And I'm still currently in testing this list. I'm still learning myself the correct ways to use this card. It's crazy. And then it reborns back a rocket and stuff like that, which is insane. And you can use this during like your turn when you're comboing to reborn back a tracer, and then like you can use tracer's effect to then pop the boot or pop whatever you need to summon out Magna. Then you can synchro for Savage, and then on their turn you can just negate something again. It's crazy. Definitely, it's good to prioritize this or use this thing to negate important monster effects, because they can't respond to like stuff like with droplets. They can't chain droplets to you. So it's good to like use this for those type of things. Oh, and then on top of that, it allows you to attack everything once each. And it's a 3,500 boss monster. So like your normal combo, you know, you like you end here, Equimax here, you're able to like clear the field with BorrelEND, then attack directly for Equimax, which is Equimax is normally, if everything goes according to plan, pointing to Savage. So it's normally a 5,000 whacker who just goes whack. And so like you normally can just one-shot him with just BorrelEND attacking over everything, and then Equimax following up with it. Finally, for the last guy, Savage. Not much more can be said. As long as we have the rockets, we can make Savage. So why don't we, you know, might as well play it. So, but there we go, guys. That's it for the profile. I don't really have a side deck. I've not been testing with a side deck as of late. But there is some ways if you guys want to play a side deck, you can definitely cut certain card. You can always side out Crawler. You can side out, not really the engine pieces. Triple Tax is sideable. Chaos Space is sideable. You can definitely, there's a lot of flexibility in the deck to be able to side out cards. I'd never recommend never side out Crusadia Mon's names. Never side out the names. But anyway, guys, that's it for the profile. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please comment down below what you guys think, and comment down below what you guys are playing this format, and stay tuned for future content. But most importantly, you guys, please remember you guys out there to stay safe and stay healthy. And this is Charles from Team COG, signing out.